Begun on radio station 101.1. It's heartwarming when our Orthodox traditions kind of sync up with our country's traditions, isn't it? Today's message is about investing for eternity, and thank God we're here today doing just that. Our preparation time for Christmas starts us off with a very sobering parable from Jesus today about our priorities. Here we have another nameless rich person, a rich man, and he's not spending enough time investing for eternity. After all the hard work he's done, after receiving all the amazing, we could say productivity today, all that God has offered to him, he sits back and he's reflecting on this amazing abundance that he has. And he feels perhaps like it's maybe all by his own power, all by his own effort. He's not thanking God. He's not considering God. He's just thinking about how much he has and how close retirement is, perhaps. Those can be good things, except for the very fact that he's not considering God. He has no plans as well for sharing his great abundant wealth with others after he dies, or even while he's still alive. Now, this parable is really one-sided and very extreme, which gives us a lot of room to balance it out with some grace, God's grace, which we'll get to in just a moment. But before we can be comforted by God's grace, it's important that we sit with some difficulties. And what we're going to do is we're not going to bash our society for its relationship with God. We're actually going to be invited to look inward and to look into our own heart and soul and in our own relationship with God. And we're going to wonder how we are investing for eternity. It's certainly okay to feel a little uncomfortable and even startled by this parable. The realization is that we must financially plan in responsible ways for our life. The reality is, we do not know God's plan for our life, and we do not know when He is going to call us home. It's okay to feel a little startled, maybe a little scared, maybe a little upset about the parable. But ultimately, there's joy and there's grace in that tension, because God is giving us time. He is giving us time to change. And we can always change to deepen our understanding of who He is, how much He loves us, and what it means to be in relationship with Him. And that's as far as we're going to go with the difficulties, because it's a little bit too much to sit in that tension. So we want to focus on God's grace and ease our tension. So we go back to the parable. Did you hear how easy it was to have conversation with God? Did you hear? The rich man is doing all sorts of self-reflection, which is a good thing. We should do some self-reflection on a regular basis. And as he's doing this self-reflection, God interrupts him. He interrupts him. This tells me that God is interested in people's daily life, and that God is right there while the rich man is self-reflecting. So much and so close that he's able to pick up right where the man is kind of in the middle of a thought and offer an applicable nudge, some guidance. In this case, for him, it's a little bit of scary guidance, but that's okay. God is interested in this man's eternal destination. He wants to talk about it with the man. And of all the things that we learn from the parable, the one thing we're focusing on today is how easy it is to communicate and to talk with God, who is with us, so very near. Jesus himself shows us how easy it is to talk with our Heavenly Father. He gives us a prayer called the Our Father. How nice is that? An immediate connection with our Heavenly Father. Jesus shows us by example how easy it is to talk with God, the Heavenly Father. Jesus goes off on a regular basis, steps away from the crowd, steps away from the busyness, just to talk to his Heavenly Father, as if his Heavenly Father is standing right nearby. He talks to God while in public. And the grace in today's parable is how easy it is to talk with God in our daily life about whatever we want. God communicates with us all the time. We know that. He's always communicating with us. He's always interrupting us, giving us those little nudges. Sometimes we think maybe it's our conscience talking to us. Sometimes the Lord talks to us through our conscience. But we find ourselves being nudged, do something a little different than the way we had planned to do it. Now, sometimes his nudges are inconvenient to us. His direction shifts feel like they're a little bit unstable, even financially. But these things are worth listening to and considering. And why is that? Because God has our best interest. He has our best interest, and he knows what is best for us, even more than we do. So we listen, consider what we're hearing, and God willing, follow him. When we're unsure or very sure about what's happening in life, we can talk to God. We can say, Lord, what do you think about this? We can say that quietly in our own hearts, and we could say it out loud. Just make sure you're alone when you do that, because people will think you're talking to yourself. Although maybe it doesn't matter what people think, because you know you're talking to the Lord. And you can say, Lord, what's the best path here for me? What is it you want me to do with my life? What do you want me to do in this season of life? Lord, help me to accomplish what I have on my schedule today, what I think it is that I need to do. Oh God, please help me. How easy is it to talk to God in those ways? Now, it's the Nativity Fast, as we mentioned, and we might be wondering, what more can we do to invest for eternity? But if you'll allow this one idea, the idea is just be you. Just be you. Authentically you. Don't try to do more. Just be you more. And I'll be me more. And we do that authentically in relationship with God. Being authentically you means talking with God throughout the day, every day. Of course, in our formal prayers, here together as community, and also in our mini chats, as if he was standing right nearby. Because he is standing right nearby. And he's actually within us, as Father Theodore reminds us. We want to talk with him as often as we would text someone we love. Just little chit-chats throughout the day. Little messages asking for his guidance and his blessings on our decisions and our ideas. Being authentically you makes you more aware of the time that God is giving us to be the holiest version of ourselves in every aspect of our lifestyle. In these ways, we will be investing for eternity. That is, forever investing in the kingdom of heaven. And as you know, The kingdom is at hand, which is right here, today, now. And this is good news. A blessed nativity fast for us.